Max, and so he's going to join us here in just a second. Hey, Randy, how are you?
Hey, good morning, you guys.
Morning.
How's it going this morning?
Well, it was good till I got here. Everything works fine now, though, so we're good.
Well, yeah, that's good. So I had set up Randy's computer last night. He's just in the other room from us, and got here this morning, and that computer had shut down, and so then we fired it back up and had him all lined up, and then it spontaneously quit. And so anyhow, so that's kind of why the show got started late.
I think you broke it. I'm just blaming it on him. Yeah. We can either blame it on Bennett or Randy. We have to see Bennett every day.
Blame it on me.
Yeah. Yeah,
so, well, Randy is one of the principal brokers. He is the husband and handyman of Shauna McKinnis. Is that a good way of putting it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
and they
together, in the
office. Shauna and Randy own the Remax Real Estate Agency, which is downtown. They've got a lot of help, a lot of great people helping them, and but they carry the broker load. I don't know how do you explain that, but I'm glad you're here with us.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's a fair way to describe it, I guess. We have a lot of good people down there, Brent.
Yeah, you do, and they're young and energetic, and there are probably times when you feel like, I mean, do you feel that sometimes? Like, wow, they got way more energy than we do. Yeah,
that's why we hire them. Because I'm the oldest one in there by far.
Yeah.
And so I depend on them to teach me stuff, to be honest. I know the real estate things, and the best way to learn tech stuff is to bring somebody in that's 25 years old and teach you. And so it's worked out really good. We've got some young folks, and then it's a good mix.
That's good.
Yeah, definitely when it comes to like social media.
Yeah.
Like I have no clue. I still don't even know social media very well.
I wouldn't know anything about it if it weren't for them teaching me. And
right.
I'm sure that they all stand in the back and draw to see who gets the short straw that has to deal with me.
Like, oh no, I have to show Randy how to post on Instagram.
Right.
Yeah. So Randy, talk to us about what's going on in the market right now.
Well, you guys know what it's been like over the last year or so, maybe 2 years in the Grande. It's just been crazy. And the Grande is notoriously stable. So for it to be as crazy as it's been is really unusual in the Grande. But what we've seen, we've seen escalating prices. We've seen multiple offers, those kind of things over the last little while. But I think as we start to get towards the end of the year, I'm sure some of it is seasonal, but we're starting to see it kind of settle a little bit. I run into the grocery store or anywhere else, people always ask me, is the market still so crazy? Well, it's kind of. We're probably not seeing 7 or 8 offers at a time. We're seeing 2 or 3 now. We're seeing a little less activity in the lower price ranges with new people, but in general, it's still crazy, just not as crazy. It's not hair on fire crazy right now.
Wow, I can imagine this has been an interesting season for you guys.
It has.
Yeah, what caused it? What caused it, Randy? Why did the market go through the roof?
Just go crazy like that? I don't know. I think there were a lot of factors. It was kind of starting before COVID. But I think that sort of ramped it up. We thought that it would slow it down, but I think it did just the opposite. I think it was really a pure supply and demand thing to some degree. I think we're seeing a lot of people that are migrating from the metro areas. They can work from home now. They'd rather live in a place like La Grande than Portland. So they're selling their house in Portland and moving to La Grande. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing that, new construction kind of got shut down for a while, so it didn't keep up. So it just kind of fed that lack of supply. I think there was a lot of things like that. The rental market, if you've talked to anybody that's trying to rent a house, it's just crazy. The rent amounts are out of sight. So they figure if they're going to spend that kind of money, they just will buy something. So yeah, there was a lot of factors that fed into that.
So how is it looking going forward? What are you guys seeing happening there?
I think it's going to stay somewhat crazy, but I don't think that it will be near as hot as it has been. I think we're going to see, with all the inflation that you hear about over the last few months, I think that affects the rates after a while. So I think by later in the year, you'll see those creep up a little bit. And I'm not talking about jumping out of jumping through the ceiling or anything, but where we're seeing 3 or 3 1/4, we may see 3 3/4. It won't be crazy, but it will really affect those first-time home buyers who are kind of having to buy right at their limit now because of the pricing in the Grande and how it's gone up. We saw 20% growth in pricing last year. I don't think we'll see that this year. It may still escalate a little bit, but not too bad. I think we're still going to see a lot of migration from people from the metro areas moving into the small towns.
I think that's going to be a trend going forward everywhere. I mean, if there's anything that people figured out during this time is that they can work remotely, and so then yeah, that same mindset of like, if I can work remotely, then I'm going to live where I want to live and remote in. And so, and I mean, frankly, that's just one of the biggest selling points for La Grande, for Eastern Oregon, that there is that, yeah, you can live here and work wherever you want to work.
I think one of the things that's always limited the growth in this area has been the employment situation. And so having that change with remote workers, I think is making a big difference. We're probably seeing 50% of the sales that go through our office now are people that are moving into the area from those kind of more metro places, Boise, Portland, maybe Bend, where people moved there and it was a small town when they moved there, and it's not anymore. Right. But yeah, we usually see a fairly small percentage of that. Now we're seeing a lot.
Wow. So
City slickers are taking over.
Yeah.
So if someone is thinking about selling their house, do you think they should wait? What is your advice to them, Randy? Should they wait till the spring, or is there kind of a pretty unique opportunity here that you would advise them to jump on?
There's pros and cons to it, but I would say that now is really not as bad as it seems. A lot of people historically in La Grande, you see the holiday season come along, and so they take their house off the market, and they don't want to move in the snow, and you hear a lot of that kind of stuff. But the reality is, right now there's no competition. So if you put your house on the market, you don't have anybody else hardly that's competing for the buyers that are out there. So you have a pretty strong position as a seller. Your house always looks better right now because you got all the holiday decor and that sort of thing. And the truth is, it takes you 60 days to close. So you sell your house this time of year. By the time you close, everyone's worried about moving in the snow, and sliding down the sidewalk with their TV in their hand. That's not going to happen now. By the time you close on your house, you're into the spring. So it's a pretty decent time. And I don't know if waiting right now is going to make it any better.
Interesting.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you, Randy. Anything else that you want to mention that we might have forgotten that is important for people to know?
Well, I don't think so. I think we just have a really good group down at RE/MAX, and I would urge anybody that's considering it to give us a call, talk to one of the folks down there, and we can come and give you some information on what your house is worth and some of that kind of stuff. Doesn't cost you anything, but we have a really educated, experienced group down there. So if you're considering it, give us a call. It's painless to figure out whether it's going to work for you or not.
And you guys are right downtown, right across the street from the closed Umpqua branch.
Yeah. We're right across the street from closed Umpqua, right next door to Corey. So we do have a lender right next door that can help you out. On the other side, we have the kitchen store. So, if you're stressed out about whether to sell your house, you can always walk in there and buy a bottle of wine and go home. So we're right between the two.
And then I put links to the Facebook page and to the website in the comments if you guys want to hit that. Phone number 963-1000-541.
Excellent.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Randy, for jumping on with us today.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a different member of your group every month that helps us to kind of get to know you guys. And so,
who's the next victim?
I don't know who the next victim is, but it'll be one of the ladies because I'm the only guy in there. So you guys will have.
You should put them in a hat. You should put everybody's name in a hat and draw it out.
Well, yeah, they'd probably be pulling their own names out of there and throwing them away so they didn't get called.
Yeah. Except for Amanda, she'll jump in anytime.
Yeah.
She's like, where's the camera? Yeah. All right. All right.
There it is, right there. She says Amanda's next.
All right.
Oh, good.
All right.
And I think that's the boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the other one. At least, well, I'm glad to know she's awake.
Yeah.
If you gotta suffer, she gotta suffer.
Right.
All righty. Well, hey, thank you, Randy.
Thanks a lot, you guys. We appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, you bet.